Hi, I'm Sean Howard, Park Ranger Lead with Jefferson County Open Space. You might not know this, but there are many careers in the outdoors. Jeffco Open Space manages more than 52,000 acres and 250 miles of trails. Additionally, we see more than 7 million visitors a year. It takes an extensive team to manage the health of our parks and our visitors. This team encompasses anywhere from rangers to IT. Most people found their jobs through the Jefferson County government website, but there are other ways to find out about jobs in Jeffco Open Space. You can become a volunteer or even get professional recommendations. Experience is important to get a job with Jeffco Open Space. Most people have taken college classes or have had jobs that have provided them the skills that they need to be successful in gaining employment. Our interview process is pretty standard, starting with a phone interview, followed by an in-person interview, and then usually some sort of skills test or presentation that makes sure that the person is a good candidate for the position. There are full-time employees who work year-round, as well as limited-term and seasonal employees who work during a portion of the year helping out with specific jobs. For example, our trails team often hires extra workers in summer in order to keep our trails in tip-top shape. Benefits are offered to most of our employees and include paid time off, health insurance, holiday pay, retirement funds, employee discounts, and even tuition reimbursement. There are a ton of jobs that we offer in Jeffco Open Space. Let's find out more.
My name is Melanie Garland and I'm a park ranger. Park rangers are necessary to help protect the parks and help keep the parks safe for not only the people but also the wildlife. So we are here to keep people safe, to respond to calls if there are emergencies, but to also help protect the natural resources and to monitor what goes on around us. There is absolutely opportunity to grow as a park ranger here in Jefferson County. There's always training, there's always new certifications to get, and there's also other positions such as a lead ranger or a supervisor or a manager that we can grow into as we develop here in the organization. The thing I love the most about the job is sometimes being just hiking alone as part of our patrol and then just being able to experience the peace around us and seeing wildlife that you wouldn't be able to see if there were other people around. So you get really cool experiences.
My name is Justin Doty. I'm a resident ranger down at Reynolds Park. The importance of having resident park rangers is to be located within the districts to help respond to calls and do the extra duties that need to be done in those districts. You have to be pretty tough to be a park ranger. You're interacting with the public quite a bit. You also need to be somewhat a cool-headed person. A lot of people will get angry with you when you're writing a ticket to them, and you need to kind of stay calm during that. The thing that I love the most about my job is meeting so many different people every day in our parks.
My name is Alicia and I'm a Jefferson County Open Space Park Ranger. An education park ranger has a lot of the similar duties as a park ranger. We do the medical calls, the rescues, the law enforcement and writing tickets, but we also focus on education. So we design and lead programs. Our ultimate goal is to protect the park and to keep park visitors safe. And as an education park ranger, I can do that through the programs I offer. I want the park visitors to know the why behind our rules, so then they will follow them when no one else is around.
My name is Mary Ann Bonnell and I'm the Visitor Services Manager. So the Visitor Services Manager takes care of all things people. I oversee the team that supports the maintenance and the protection and the education of all things Jefferson County Open Space. I also now oversee natural resources. So we're in charge of protection really when it comes right down to it. There is no typical day for the Visitor Services Manager. On Sundays, I get to go out and patrol like a ranger, which I love to do. It's my favorite day of the week. The rest of the week, I do spend a lot of time in meetings trying to help lead the team and make sure they're set up for success. I love supporting my team. I love supporting them through laughter. I love it when they've got problems that need to be solved. It makes my day if I can remove a barrier and help my team be successful. So the mythology that we see in almost every single job application is, I love being outside. That doesn't make you a good park ranger. You know what makes you a good park ranger is patiently and delightfully answering the same question over and over again.
My name is Emily Camp, and I am a Trail Services Specialist with Jefferson County Open Space. A Trail Services Specialist will oversee projects that include trail maintenance, trail construction, reconstruction, and we also work with projects that include revegetation management and trail layout and design as well. It's important to have a trails team at Jeffco because it allows us to keep our trails maintained and sustainable. Without that, our trails wouldn't be able to last as long as they do right now. Definitely have to be tough to be a trail specialist. Every day is pretty hard, and yeah, you have to have a lot of endurance. Definitely have to put your mind to it. One way to find a trail services position is getting your foot in the door by looking for other seasonal positions, which I did with the Trail Stewardship Team program. Trails Stewardship Team program is a program where kids from ages 14 to 17 will do different seasonal projects that include trail maintenance and trail building as well. I love being outside, getting my hands dirty, and I love being able to give back to the community as well. It's really special to do.
My name's Colin Brown, and I'm a Park Services Specialist with Jefferson County Open Space. We are kind of the caretakers and maintenance workers for the parks. And day to day, we're just kind of hanging out in the trailheads, sometimes down the trails, finding broken stuff and fixing it. We do the janitorial duties for the restrooms. We work on the fence lines, build the fence, maintain them. Pretty much aesthetics is our main job. It's important to have a Park Services team, I believe, because if our team disappeared in about 2 to 3 weeks, these parks would look a lot different than they do. The stuff that we're doing every single day is what keeps them looking nice. There's honestly a lot that I love. I see myself and our team as we kind of get to keep really beautiful places beautiful, and that gives me a lot of fulfillment. I love, like looking around these parks and being like, yeah, we keep this pretty for the public, which it's a great service to be able to give back to the people who are enjoying these parks, and I love that.
My name is Chelsea Beebe, and I'm a Natural Resources Senior Specialist at Jefferson County Open Space. A natural resource specialist is somebody who studies and actively manages the natural world. So our team is divided into a couple different specialties. We have a wildlife specialty, which is what I do, forestry, plant ecology, water resources, and invasive species. So a lot of what we do is know what's going on in the parks in terms of those different specialties and understand what's needed to keep the ecosystems healthy through various management techniques. The Natural Resources team, in a way, is sort of like the Lorax from Dr. Seuss. We're the people that speak for the trees when the trees really can't speak for themselves. Our job is to really be the boots on the ground in our organization to get out into the parks and to ensure that our plants and animals have the space they need to be successful and to reproduce and to live the lives that they would be living even if the visitors weren't interacting with them too. The best part about my job is just being out in the parks. I get to go hiking and look for wildlife. It's kind of a dream job for people who love nature. I also really love being able to collect data from out the parks and share that with my organization so that we can make science-focused, driven decisions about best ways to manage our parks and best ways to protect natural resources, as we have so many visitors that love to come enjoy the parks as well.
Hi, my name's Brian Hardman, Buildings and Historic Site Supervisor at Jefferson County Open Space. I oversee the Buildings and Historic Sites team, or BHS for short, and their responsibilities are the construction and maintenance of all the structures within the parks, like restrooms, shelters, entry signs, kiosks, as well as the maintenance of all those, as well as historic sites and any preservation we need to do on those, and resident ranger houses and museums. It's important to have the BHS team, as we're part of the construction. We can hands-on get the experience of the plan review, all the way through to the construction, put the extra love into it, get the extra details that makes it last for generations, and then we can maintain it because we know exactly how it was built. The thing I love the most about open space is the passionate people that work here and the ability to build things for future generations in a responsible way so that everyone can access the parks. The variety and the challenge and just the unique camaraderie is just my love.
My name is Andrea Keppers, and I'm an education specialist and curator at the Haiwan Museum. I educate people about the historical people, places, and stories here in Jefferson County Open Space. And I do this in a couple of ways. The first is I go out in the parks and I talk to people about the history that's all around them, under their feet, that they may not notice. And the other thing I do is I care for the objects and the collections here at the Haiwan Museum, and I use them to tell the story about Evergreen and Jefferson County. From the monumental, like Haiwan, to the minuscule, the trail you're walking upon, Jefferson County Open Space Parks and Properties have thousands of years of human history that's worth knowing. And the historic properties of a place really give a community its special, unique character. And to be able to tell people about that, make them aware of the things that they might overlook, really helps them feel connected, make a human connection to their community, and get involved and feel like they want to preserve it and protect it and be active members of their community. What I love the most about my job is being an educator surrounded by some of the most spectacular natural beauty. A lot of historians don't get the opportunity to work here in such a beautiful space and have access to all of the objects and artifacts that I get to teach people with.
My name is Shayna Young, and I work with Jeffco Open Space on the communications team, and I'm a graphic designer. So as a graphic designer, I work with creating content, managing content for our social media channels, our website, community engagement, signage, brochures, reports, you name it. We do a little bit of everything on our team. So working in communications can be challenging because there's so many different platforms that we have to present information, and we have to make sure that we're reaching people where they're looking for it, which means that social media is a huge part of how we do outreach to the community. Whether it's Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, creating videos for YouTube. We have to create content that makes a difference and reaches people in many different ways all the time. So we're constantly adapting and evolving as our team grows and making sure that we can reach people where they're looking for the information. What I love most about my job is being able to tell the open space story. I really enjoy the challenge of taking a complicated project or plan and distilling it down to something that's understandable, easy to digest for our visitors and for our other teams.
My name is Teddy Newman, and I am the Customer Service Representative Senior. Well, I actually am in charge of the Welcome Center here at headquarters. I'm in charge of the people who come in, greeting them, seeing they get to wherever it is they need to go. We try to answer all the questions so that we're not sending people all over the place. It's like one-stop shopping. I also function as a team assistant, so we provide background support for all of the different teams here at Open Space. We're kind of like, almost like unsung heroes. We do the background work so that they can go on and do the things they need to do, particularly in the field. I think what I love the most about the job is interacting with the public. I am so passionate about this program. I love to share it with people and direct them to places that they can recreate in a way that's going to be enjoyable for them.
My name is Elizabeth O'Brien, and I'm a planner for Jeffco Open Space. So planner is a pretty bulky term, I would say, to boil down our position, a planner is essentially someone who works with the various departments at Open Space to create a plan or a comprehensive set of improvements for an open space park. It's important to have a planning team at Jeffco Open Space because there's actually a lot of collaboration that goes into creating a plan. For instance, a trails plan needs collaboration between natural resources, obviously our trails team. We need rangers, we need visitor stewardship to be involved, GIS. So it's really kind of getting all the voices at the table to be heard to make sure that it's representative of what we actually want. The thing I love the most about my job is being outside. Letting people connect to open space and outdoor recreation is something I feel very strongly and passionately about. So anything I can do to make that experience more awesome is just the best thing. I love my job.
My name is Joy Luciano. I am the Real Estate Program Manager for Jefferson County Open Space. What the real estate team does on a daily basis is we take detailed looks at the property that's been proposed to acquire. We make sure that there are no boundary issues. We make sure that there are no environmental issues and no title issues. And so that when we acquire this property, it is something that we are good to go to start planning and developing. It's important to have the real estate team at Jeffco Open Space because of our complex ownership. We have thousands of acres within the county, and then we work with cities and rec districts. And many times we're asked questions about ownership, boundaries, and we need to understand where our boundaries are and protect our parks and open space. The thing I like the most about my job is I get to meet landowners, see their properties that they've had in their family for over 50 years, and actually solve complex problems. And we work with a great team at Open Space, and what we do provides a vital resource for all of the programs.
My name is Larry Pfeiffer. I'm a professional land surveyor that works for Jefferson County Open Space. A professional land surveyor locates monuments and describes property boundaries. It's important to have a surveyor that works with the real estate team because you need to know where your boundaries are. You need to make sure you don't have any issues with your boundaries. And it's good to have somebody on staff that can show other teams where our boundaries are. Good boundaries make good neighbors. The thing I love most about my job is I love the outdoors. And this is a perfect job for me because I get to work in the outdoors and in the foothills of Jefferson County, and I don't have to work in the city.
My name is Daniel Rubenstein, and I'm a project manager with Jefferson County Open Space. As a project manager, what we're doing on a day-to-day basis is really facilitating and coordinating with all the different teams within Open Space so that we can start the planning process for any particular project, whether it's trailhead improvements or trailhead infrastructure. And I like to think that we're kind of like conductors of an orchestra where we need to make sure that the strings come in after percussion and orchestrating the whole project. A lot of times we're fitting the pieces together to make it happen, and that's a lot of what we do. What I love most about being a project manager at Open Space is, wearing all the different hats that I get to wear. Where I'm talking to the trails team, I'm talking to the natural resources team, I'm talking to communications. And then going out and meeting with contractors and consultants and engineers and architects. So it's so multifaceted, and I love that part of it. And the second part to that is really just driving by or using the trailheads and the trail networks in our system and seeing families and people out there smiling and breathing clean air and being out by the water and the tall grass and everybody just loving life out there. So I think that's probably the most rewarding part.
My name is Matt Martinez. I'm a volunteer specialist with Jefferson County Open Space. My particular job as a volunteer specialist is to work with groups throughout the Front Range, primarily with corporate groups, A lot of groups these days, a lot of businesses are allowing their employees to come out and volunteer, donate some of their time during work hours. So I create projects for them. I work with some of our field staff to get them involved in outdoor stewardship. Probably the most important role that volunteer services team plays within our organizations is just relieving some of the workload on our staff. It's a really good outreach component to the community, getting to let them know what public lands management looks like and why it's so important. The thing that I love most about my job is I love Colorado. I've seen all different places around this state. I think it's an extremely important and special place. And I think it's at the end of the day, when we take volunteers out and we allow them to build something or fix something out in our parks, just the sense of accomplishment that I see in their faces after days of hard work is just something you just can't put a price tag on.
I'm Robert Thayer. I'm the GS Analyst Lead at Jeffco Open Space. A GS Analyst will create maps, both static and web maps, like the one behind me, but that's really just the tip of the iceberg. Behind what you see on the maps is a whole series of different data sets that are compiled from teams across the organization. We use that data for cartography, but also in support of data-driven decision-making for reports and analytics that help us make informed decisions about how to steward the land. Geography is the study of people and their relationship with their environments. It's important to have a team because as land stewards of over 56,000 acres of preserved land, there's quite a bit of spatial information to compile, maintain, and present. What I love most about my job is I get to serve a community and contribute to something that is way more substantial than what I could ever produce by myself.
I'm Sherry Shannon, and I'm the Technical Support Administrator here at Jeffco Open Space. Daily, we support all the computer hardware and many of the applications that the Jeffco Open Space employees use in the building and out in the field. We also support telephones, cell phones, anything IT related, we support it. Jeffco Open Space needs someone who can respond to their issues in a very timely manner. Some of our positions are critical and need that support right then and there, and by having our team we can respond to those and make sure that we continue to function at a technical level. Lots of opportunity to grow. Technical support is a huge field growing fast, and you get into one position, interested in another, it's easy to springboard on into that. I love working with people. That's one of the reasons I took this job, is because I get to interact with people one-on-one. Not one day is the same. You never know the next day what you're going to be running into that day.
Thank you for taking the time to check out job opportunities at Jeffco Open Space. For more information or to sign up for job alerts, visit us on our webpage at jeffco.us. Happy trails!